So welcome and thanks for clicking into this video. During the presentation at the conference, we have been connected online, and now you see I've got a different approach over here as well. So to show the whole thing, we decided to have a nice video instead of a PowerPoint presentation. So thanks for your interest in watching us maybe again. Let me introduce you to our speakers today. So we got the two avatars next to me. So I'm the one on your left, and we got Joachim in the middle and Nicole on your right-hand side. They will lead us through the presentation online in this tool. So Nicole graduated with an honors degree in chemical engineering in 2008. She joined a Baker Hughes pressure pumping division in 2008, and then went to the US of A for a year field assignment in 2011 prior to returning to Malaysia. She joined in Shell in 2013 and held several frontline barrier operation roles offshore, such as drilling supervisor, prior to returning to the office as an operations engineer. She then promoted to the HSSE team lead for Shell Malaysia wells. Welcome, Nicole. And also would like to welcome Joachim. Joachim van der Meulen is the secretary and facilitator of the Jobs Asia Forum and the director of Drilling VR, a venture set up to explore the opportunities of virtual reality in safety education, what we're going to see today. He's one of the co-founders of the Jobs Asia Forum 2009 and has run this organization since. He's an active member of the IADC in Asia and served as a secretary to reunite the Southeast Asia chapter between 2014 and 2017. He's currently developing a scenario-based training in virtual reality for jobs. Good afternoon or good evening, you both.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Ansgar. And thanks for also willing to help with doing this recording, both of you, and Nicole and Ansgar. Of course, we recently had a conference in IADC. And I'm glad we do a short recap. So Nicole will be doing most of the presentations today, and I'll assist remotely. But before that, I will give a brief introduction of the Jobs Metaverse. The Jobs Metaverse is an initiative by the Asia chapter of the Job Object Prevention Scheme to improve the quality of jobs training. So we've created various 3D environments which you can use part of your training. So instead of explaining using manuals or PowerPoint, we let participants carry out virtual inspections. And instead of describing what happened in an incident, like an A4 pager, we simulate them being at the center of it. So Shell Malaysia was the first company to incorporate this in their training, and I'm happy to pass it over to Nicole to demonstrate how.
All right. Thank you so much, Joachim. And thank you for listening to this recording as well. First of all, maybe I would like to thank IADC again for the opportunity. And without further ado, let me start off with the presentation before we move on to the exciting part, which is the live demonstration of the virtual reality training. Could you go to the first slide, please, Joachim?
Yeah.
Okay. Job object has been the first, or if not the second leading type of the high potential incident in all the businesses. So generally, we have about one high potential job every other day across the group. So the incident you are seeing currently taken from the Google search. As you can see, the job object doesn't only happen on the rig floor, but it also happens at the base, for example, through the loadout or the backlog operation itself. So the question here is, how do we fail safely with drop object? It all started with the awareness for the drop object, which is on the left-hand side of the bow tie. Next slide, please, Joachim. There are various options for training currently through theory or practical. So for theory, for Shell Malaysia wells, we deliver the training through e-learning modules as part of the offshore induction, which cover various HSSET topics, in which it includes the jobs as well. So these also delivered through our safety leadership program, which is Assist and Assure, whereby jobs is one of the personal focus area. So to strengthen the jobs awareness training, we paired it with the virtual reality. So we had embedded it in the assist and assure training and also conducted dedicated drops awareness training through virtual reality starting last year itself. So this enabled the team member to actually take part in the hazard hunt, for example, and also to get to experience the peer pressure from one of the module itself. So there are a total of 3 modules, which we had currently delivered, which are cargo inspection, which we will be going through that later on through the live demonstration. And second will be the direct inspection. And lastly, on the human performance side, whereby the team member will be able to experience the peer pressure individually. Next slide, Joachim. Okay, so these are some of the photo taken during our drops training last year and also this year as well. So which I would like to share with all of you. All right, I think I've taken quite a lot of time, and now let's move on to the exciting part, which everyone are waiting for. Okay,
All right.
maybe we will start off with the hazard hunt. Maybe Joachim can find one of the hidden hazard in this module, and maybe you can show it to us with your laser point.
Right. I can see this this carabiner is not properly engaged.
All right,
I
very good.
see the door is not closed at all.
Oh, very good. So Joachim, what is the hazard from this finding itself?
Well, I suppose if we were to lift this container without fixing this, I mean, the whole thing could open and the cargo could come out.
Yes, thank you. Great job, Joachim.
So I see there's a split pin missing here. Yeah.
Very good. So for Shell itself, we are looking at the 4-part shackle. So with missing 1 split pin, it's only 3 parts.
Yeah.
Very good, Joachim.
And then this one's got the bolt missing. So let me see if I can check these forklift pockets here. I'm just gonna go on my knees now. Right. Yeah, nothing there. Well, there's a lot of containers here to be inspected. Checking out this forklift pocket. Yes, I found the stone. And let me
Good
show
job,
you what
Joachim.
that looks like. Okay. There we go. Is that visible for you now?
Yes, it is. So it looks
Yes,
like
we
we
can
have
see it.
stones above the pockets of the container itself. Maybe Joachim,
Excellent.
can you share with us why are you checking the pockets of the containers?
Yeah, I checked the forklift pockets because sometimes there might be things in there, and it's quite common to happen because different work sites, it can be quite messy, and these pockets are easily can collect some. If there's a forklift going in, it might push in a stone that is then left in there. And obviously, when you lift the container then with a crane, it will come out and also drop objects.
All right. Thank you so much, Joachim, for sharing.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier.
Yep.
This is
Secure
the
cargo.
2-part shackle.
Yep.
It's one of them. This is where we've got the split pin missing.
I'm wondering if we should proceed with the scenario, Joachim.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
We would like to stand at the strategic position.
All that. I'm just catch the ball.
All right. How do you feel, Joachim?
Well, yeah, obviously, That would be really scary in real life. So I would not deliberately stand under this load in real life, but it is a bit scary seeing that coming down.
Yes, it is. And also as one of the life-saving rules, it is the under the line of fire.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Joachim, would you want to do the honor to look at what is inside the container that's been delivered to us?
Okay, here we go. Oh,
Not you die a second time, Joachim.
how many lives have I got left?
Only in VR you have more than one life and you are not hurt. So what is this telling us, Joachim? Would you like to share with us?
Well, so this is actually an incident that happened in real life. Of course, I did the demo here in real life. The person was standing here, so he was something. But really, in our game, we try to trick you. Actually, it is technically possible opening this container from this position, but it's a lot harder. And I'm going to trick the participants to stand in the line of fire and see what happens when something comes out.
All right. Thank you so much, Joachim. And I think this conclude our recording. Or maybe you want to, do you have anything to add, Joachim?
No, nothing to add, but maybe Ansgar has some questions.
Yeah, well, thanks. First of all, thank you a lot for showing us around this nice scenario. I can't see the wave, but I feel like being offshore, very nice. When we had our conference in Amsterdam, we had a couple of questions coming through our conference app. And I would like to ask a couple of these questions again, so everybody gets the answer. The first question was, how many people can actually be in the training at the same time?
Practically, if you deliver a training, I would say about 6 people simultaneously in this environment, because it is a facilitated course, and to keep track of all the students all wearing VR headsets. We use 6, and then we have a class size of about 12, and then the other students would be either observing or they would be doing different activities. But in the conference room, which we saw earlier, you could potentially have 100 people simultaneously interacting with each other.
Well, that's a lot, but I think the 6 people to handle them in a VR space is already enough of a job to do. Thank you. Well, we understood that this training is meant to be delivered in a classroom environment, but to get the people into real life. But with the background of having COVID and people not being able to travel and see each other, is it possible to run such kind of training like in a distance like we do right now? So if we have people on a rig site somewhere remote, would you be able to train them as well?
Yes, it is technically possible. First of all, you need a good internet connection, with Starlink. That is becoming a lot easier now. But the other thing is people need to be really familiar with the virtual reality hardware. So probably the first time round, they need to get a full induction on how that works, how the application works. And then maybe if they've done it a few times, then you could do training offshore. So I would say, yes, you can do VR training offshore, doing only this as a one-off, while not doing anything else for VR, may be a bit of a challenge. So I would start in the classroom and build on from there.
Thank you, Lars. But so you mentioned there are different scenarios available. So is there something else in this app which we could do with the attendees?
Yeah, so this is focused on transportation cargo, and we have another scenario which is more around inspections. Behind you, there is a derrick. Now you can actually go up, climb that derrick, and do an inspection of various fixtures. So introduce concepts like primary methods of securing, secondary retention, safety securing. We developed that together with an inspection company, and they actually use it as part of the training for their employees. Then there's the other human factors scenario. Maybe Nicole, you want to explain that a little bit, what that is about?
The last scenario, which is on the human performance side itself, it is the individual model, whereby the team member will go into the scenario and experience on the peer pressure itself. So he or she will be asking to do a certain task, and there is also a situational awareness when he or she performing the task as well on this part.
So thanks a lot. Sounds very interesting. Last question, which came from the audience, was what's your experience been when you have deployed the system? So you've heard about 3 different scenarios you can put. So who was the target audience for these trainings, and what was your feedback? What you got from the guys and girls, maybe?
All right. So the target audience initially is to the internal staff to go through the awareness training, and then after that we extended it to not only to Wells but also to our Shell Malaysia corporate team, and thereafter we extended it to our business partner and also the rig crew as well. There are a mixed feedback from the crew. Some really like the experience of this virtual reality, and is the new experience as well, whereby they can really have to perform a certain task like what you Joachim have did just now. He have to really kneel down to do the hazard hunt to look for the stone in the pocket. But some other comments is that when they are on the headset for a very long period, for example, if we go through the derrick inspection, you require someone with a very brave heart, I would say, to climb up the derrick, then he or she will feel slight dizziness as well. So these are some of the feedback that we got from the crew during the training.
Overall, I guess they get the value of this training. Oh, sorry, Joachim.
Yeah, indeed. If you go up, it's a very good training as well for people who are afraid of heights.
So it's so so live that they think they can fall down.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It feels scary sometimes, yes.
But I guess less exhausting than climbing up a real derrick.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. So thank you a lot for having the time again to record this small video. So hopefully for the viewer, it became a bit clearer now with having less technical problems. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being able to present in Amsterdam and now online. And sounds like well, looks like a very interesting system. And hope we can see more of it in the future. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks very much, Ansgar, for facilitating, and Nicole, of course, for co-presenting.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And thank you, Ansgar, for facilitating as well. And thank you, Joachim and Sarawana, for the support as well.